Started a financial consulting firm back in 1990, straight out of college. Zero clients, zero revenue, just let's go. So here we are, 23 years later, having a lot of fun still doing what we're doing. We've really migrated into specific areas. I work with a lot of owners of closely held businesses, where we're focusing on how do we monetize this business and pass it down to the next generation. It was one of my wealthiest clients that I work with. I still work with him to this day, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And so, when you have someone that has substantial wealth like this, you really have to dig deep and not leave a stone unturned about the methods that you can use to pass the money down. And we were talking about all these different methods, and a question just came into my mind, and I said, there's different types of capital in this world. We've got capital, monetary capital. We've got intellectual capital that we have gathered as people, just through our life experiences. There's human capital, there's physical capital, there's, how healthy are we? And I just, out of the blue, asked him the question. I said, if you could choose one of these types of capital to pass down, which one would you choose? He said, heck, without a doubt, I'd pass down the intellectual capital, the capital that I've acquired in this life through just my experiences, through my business dealings, through my mistakes, through my successes. He goes, if I could take that and pass it down to my children, that would be much more valuable than this wealth that we're talking about passing down. And then I asked him to go a little further. I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, think about it. If you could take all of your life experience at that time I was 44, and if you could take that and put it in your 20-year-old kid and give him that knowledge, that experience, how much better in your business do you think he would be than you are right now? Well, I said, good point. Good point. Well, that got my mind thinking, and so we have incorporated that into the planning that we do, this aspect of planning. And I ask that question of every client, and to date, I have yet to have a client tell me that the most important capital that they will pass down to their family is the monetary capital. Almost everyone will choose the intellectual capital, spiritual capital, human capital. It's a much more valuable asset than the money. By the way, I feel that this monetary system that we live in is totally contradictory to kingdom building. Okay? They work in two different realms. For instance, this monetary system, it's about buying and selling. Kingdom building has nothing to do with that. Kingdom building is about giving and receiving. There's no buying and selling that goes on. Yet, when you have the right view of this monetary system, you can actually use this monetary system to do your kingdom building for you. And it's kind of neat how that works because, if I look at, for instance, my business, and I measure the results of my business in 2012 versus 2011, I can say, oh, there was a percentage gain. I can measure that percentage. And that's the way the monetary system works. We accumulate by percentage gains or additions. If I add more clients to our firm, our firm revenue goes up. Now, the kingdom building doesn't work like that. Kingdom building works on a multiplication system. Just about every week, I attend Florence. And I go down to Florence, I go down there, I sit in a beautiful building. And, there's a stage, there's chairs, there's a building, there's all this stuff. Well, how long would it have taken Kenny Kinman to save to build that building himself? Probably couldn't do it. But the fact of the matter is that you have a whole group of believers who said, you know what, that's worth investing in. That's worth kingdom building in. And so we've all pulled our money together and we have built this building. And that's why when you can take something from this monetary system and use it properly within kingdom building, you have a much bigger effect.